Hello folks, Reloading Bench back with you once again, and we've got a couple of items on the bench to discuss. I'm going to call this a follow-up range report to the video I recently published on this Colt original 22 conversion kit that I put on this 1959 government frame that was originally 45 ACP. And I did what I would call a 22 day at the range. Took a bunch of old 22. In fact, it was finishing off this box of Federal. Not the best. I call this mediocre ammunition, just like I would call these Remington golden bullets, which is what these are. In fact, it was such an eventful day. I purchased this box when I could only purchase this box on 12/15/2014, so a little over 10 years ago. And at that point in 2014, it was the first time I could purchase 22 long rifles since the elementary school issue, the S-Hook elementary school issue. I think that was 2012-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I could be wrong on my dates. I'm getting old. But it was an interesting day, and I'll show the target I put up, because the first thing I want to do was spend time with this to, one, see if it worked. And I was beyond impressed. So the first thing I did was I took the magazine and I loaded just a single bullet. Just a single bullet. Loaded it, didn't have my target up, and then I shot it. And I was honestly expecting the slide not to lock back. And it did lock back. I thought, wow, that's cool. So then I loaded 3 more. Did 3 more shots, just basically into the dirt. And it shot each one, each time, and it locked back. And I did that a few more times. This ran flawless in this configuration. The only thing that I noticed, and I can't find any documentation on this, this magazine will only accept, and these are really rough on the thumbs, really, really rough as compared to, I'll take the GSG or the SIG branded GSG 1911-22 and show you that magazine. But this magazine's not user friendly, and now it's quite dirty from the usage, because that ammo was not the cleanest of ammo. This ammo or this ammo. And the fact that this ran flawless for the entire day. I think I had 2 fail to lock backs, no fail to feed, no fail to eject. I can't say the same about either of these. And, again, I was beyond impressed. One of the things that I was reading online was these are notoriously inaccurate. And I did not find the case, that to be the case. And you'll see, I'll put my target up. So my first grouping was to try and zero this in because of the windage and elevation adjustment. And took a few. And then I had, I think, four, and then a final grouping. And it got better with each grouping. So beyond impressed. Beyond impressed. This Glock 44, which unloaded weighs, I think 15 ounces, less than a pound. And we've got our little measuring thingy thing here. And I'll bring that out. I wonder, let's see, let's go to ounces. Don't know what that one is. There we go for ounces. And we're at 0 ounces. So let's weigh the Glock. And let me hold on to this, hopefully. This, it's amazing how this never turns. Okay, so now we're at 17 ounces. How much is a pound? 16 ounces. So I'm going to say maybe my info is wrong. So we're at 17. Oh, you can't see that. We're at 17 ounces. Now you can see that. 17 ounces. It is not a heavy little thing. It's very, very light. In fact, when you do the magnet test, that's polymer. So it's a steel slide down at the bottom here, wrapped in polymer, and obviously the slide. So it's extremely lightweight, and that's picking up the metal from the slide. But this should fall off. Yes, it does, and then it'll grab the metal on the slide. But yeah, that's an interesting design. I think it's still picking up the metal. Yep. If I leave it there, it will fall off. This is a heavy imitation. Again, this is aluminum slide. That's picking up the metal there. How about this? Aluminum. Actually, I think the whole thing's aluminum until we get, yeah, there's a, wow, lots of aluminum, some steel, mostly aluminum. This this particular magazine, however, much more robust. This one says it's made in Germany. I don't know how true that is for SIG. Very robust, much easier to load. This was also a 5-rounder. I think I could probably get more in by using this, but I was shooting in 5-round groups. This magazine worked flawless in this Colt, but as I would expect it to, because it's made for a 1911-22, which this is, and completely weighted. And I know somebody's probably going to freak out about, is it loaded? Well, you saw the magazine. No, nothing's loaded. Let's see what this weighs. Back to ounces. Let's get that back to 0. Back to 0. This is coming in at 35 ounces, double this. And let's tear this out, back to 0. And I'm sure somebody's going to complain about the Glock, because there always is. All right, so I'm going to bet that this is the heaviest. Again, we're zeroed out. And what blew me away, we're at 38 ounces. What blew me away is this is all aluminum, with most of the weight being in the grip, because this frame is aluminum. This is all steel. Everything about this gun is steel. Everything. This is a heavy gun. And I was very skeptical about this being able to push the slide because it's 22 and it doesn't have a whole lot of kick to it. And apparently, in my reading, that floating chamber gives it a much bigger punch than, you know, this has nothing. This is featherweight, and it feels featherweight when you're shooting it. It's a tack driver. Don't get me wrong, that's a tack driver. This is not a tack driver. This was so far off, and these are combat sights, so there's nothing, you know, the only adjustment would be me. And as you can see from my target, when I finally zeroed this in, I was quite happy with the consistency and the repeatability of this particular weapon. I'm probably not going to, I was thinking about taking off the slides, but suffice to say that I have no doubt this is going to be heaviest. I'm sure somebody will, these are going to be the closest in terms of, you know, how they operate. So maybe I'll take the slides off these two, maybe the Glock, we'll see. But suffice to say, from a range report, the consistency, this was an amazing piece of history to shoot. And speaking of amazing piece of history, here's some Remington clean bore CBs. I don't even know if Remington makes these anymore. I know CCI does. It looks like they're copper instead of brass. That's an old piece of history. And this is an even older piece of history. These are also made, I want to say they're made by Remington Arms. These are blanks, but they're not the blanks that you see today with the crimps. They're cardboard. So, and they look brashish. This one does, this one doesn't. But that's an old piece of history as well. Very, very old pieces of coolness from a long time ago that you can't find in this form today. Exactly. I mean, you can find the CBs from, CCI. I don't know if anyone else makes the CBs, but I will go ahead and I think take the slides off of these, weigh them with my old school coffee scale, and see what we come up with in terms of weight. So since I can't show that or won't show that on screen, I'll come back when these are taken apart. Later. All right, things are taken apart, and before I forget, I was able to get my handle off the fry pan. Dremel cutting wheels. All right, so we are at ounces, and we're zeroed out. Let's do the mags first. The Glock magazine, empty, weighs 2.19 ounces, 2.189 to be exact. The GSG SIG mag, I'm going to say this is going to be the heaviest. That comes in at 4.273 ounces. And here is the Triple K Colt imitation magazine, coming in at 2.965 ounces. All right, so I'm just going to do the slides, but I'm going to do, because of how I take the guns apart, I'm going to do all of the pieces for the top slide. So the Glock comes in at 8.107 ounces. And again, the metal is right here, not right there. Well, you've got metal, but, and it's because of the, here, I'll put it on the, yeah, it's going to go to metal. So there's a whole lot of metal wrapped in polymer. The GSG. So we've got the entire top slide coming in at 12.319 ounces. And again, that's aluminum. And now for the Colt. Oh, it's over the limit. Wow, I was not expecting that. I don't know what the limit is on this scale. Let's see if we can take some parts off and get under the limit. Will that get us there? No. Okay, it looks like 16 ounces is the limit. All right, so we're going to piecemeal this. And this is very temperamental. Oh, because I need to take out the ejector. Cleaned so well, and now lubed with new carbon. There we go. All right, so the slide itself, let's see, that's 12 ounces. The barrel, 12 ounces plus 6, so we're at 6.02, 12.09, so that's 18.1, 18.2, 18.2, 18.2, 18.2. My hands are getting yucked. 18.2, 19.2, 19.5. Almost 20 ounces. 19.5. So this little round with the floating chamber, I think, made a huge difference because it made it feel like a lot punchier than, you know, say this one or this one shooting 22. But okay, so we're at 19.5 ounces or so against 12.3. So considerably more weight, pushing that 22 long rifle round in this and cycling this slide than in this. And what was funny, and I forgot if I mentioned this, what does this weigh, like half an ounce? Almost 4.5 ounces. What I forgot to mention, or if I don't remember mentioning it, I had more malfunctions with 10 rounds, the first 10 rounds in this, and when I say malfunctions, failure to feed, failure to eject, than I did in the whole day of shooting with this same ammo. And then went to, once that was depleted, then went to the Golden Boys. I just find that very, very interesting that, and keep all these pieces together because they're so different. I just find it very, very interesting that modern technology, lightweight, aluminum, some steel versus old school steel and design, and the ease with which this shot the 22. I was beyond impressed. So I'm still wanting to find a Colt Ace, and that'll be on my my wish list. But this thing performed. I was beyond impressed. So good stuff. Later.